chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History, history.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History, history.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History, history.
Now we going back. Heathen on my back for sure when I let the truth go. We gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies will teach you. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history?
can't stop. We can't stop beating this horse. It's not dead yet. We gotta keep on beating it. The whole anti-Semite thing, we're attacking it head on. We're not gonna stop. We're gonna relentlessly, continuously bring out the facts revolving around this alleged controversy of us being black Hebrew Israelites, which is false, a false narrative. The fact that we have Hispanics and Native Americans among us, that's of different shades and features and different what do y'all call it? Physiognomies. That pretty much negates any black Hebrew Israelism you may be referring to. That's all just slanderous nonsense. So,
hey, Deke, we can start by introducing.
Officer Don.
Shalom, bless.
As you can see, we're a very, very diverse group of Israelites because Israel was a diverse people. They make up the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and the so-called African diaspora. Now, what I have done today is it was kind of last minute because I was going to go into my topic, but I don't want to stray from the momentum that we've been running with so far regarding our defense against our stand against anti-Semitism. Oh, shout outs to the brothers at the Barclays, man. We did our thing. All praise to the Lord for that victorious battle. The battle for the birthright. That was a game changer. That was a monumental act that took place this year, and many more. I'm pretty sure many more things are in the works. It's going to happen. It's going to be even bigger than that. So the bishop is always the bishop's never impressed because he's always trying to do more and greater things, better things. But all praises for that. These are all strides. These are all strides. So those of you who have any questions or comments, you can call us at 267 702 6121 267. I memorized it. Okay, all praises. 267 702 6121 for any questions or comment or regarding the topic you may have. But in the meantime, let's just jump right into it. Give me Genesis 25. Now, the last time I was here, I brought out the scriptures regarding Moses passing for an Egyptian. I brought out the evidence of Joseph passing for an Egyptian. I brought out the evidence of Paul. No, I didn't bring out Paul yet. We're going to get that. Let's get that first. Okay. Give me that first regarding Paul being confused with an Egyptian as well. Because, again, these things need to be brought out. When you ask these particular people, these nations, what color were the Egyptians, they get very, very skittish. They get very, very uncomfortable. Because if the Egyptians, when you ask them what color were the Egyptians, you get runarounds. It's Acts 21. You get runarounds. You get Heman and Han and all that stuff, because they say we're Hamites. You guys are Hamites, and why are you stealing someone else's culture? We get all of that, and that's fine. If you wanna argue about us so allegedly stealing a culture, you guys are Hamites. Okay, cool. So us being Hamites would obviously mean that all of Ham's children were black people. That would include the Ethiopians, the original indigenous Ethiopians. That would include the Canaanites. That would include the Libyans, and that would include the Egyptians. These are Hamites. So if we are Hamites, and the Israelites passed for these Hamites, then they were black. And so whenever you ask... I saw a video of a brother arguing, the brother arguing back and forth with another Edomite, and he was like, "What color were the Egyptians? What color were the Hamites?" Oh, well, like just running around the question, because they know if they say black, then you have to explain why did Moses and Joseph and Paul, why they pass for them.
Right.
You have to. You're forced to answer that, but you can't. So read that, Acts 21.
The book of Acts, chapter 21 and verse 37. Mm-hmm. And as Paul was to be led into the castle.
Paul's being led. He was at this point, he's under arrest. He's being led into the castle. Go ahead.
he said unto the chief captain,
He said unto the chief captain, go ahead.
May I speak unto thee?
Can I speak to you?
Who said, Canst thou speak
The
Greek?
chief captain was like, whoa, okay, you speak Greek? Whoa, okay, go ahead.
Are not thou that Egyptian?
Are you not that? So there was a particular Egyptian causing problems. Are you not that Egyptian? Go ahead.
Which before these days made us an uproar and led us out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers?
A criminal. So he thought. So he said he thought that Paul was an Egyptian, that a particular Egyptian man that was causing problems in the realm. Go ahead.
But Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus.
Now the reason why he's surprised that Paul could speak Greek is because obviously Egyptians, obviously the guy that he's confusing Paul with was Egyptian, but he did not obviously speak Greek. So he's like, you speak Greek? I thought you were that guy that caused the problems. So whoever this African was that was causing an uproar in the realm at the time, obviously this particular guy could not speak Greek. Paul spoke Greek, letting the guy know, listen, I'm not an Egyptian. I'm a Jew of Tarsus. Go ahead.
A city in Cilicia.
Go ahead.
A citizen of no mean city.
I'm not from the ghetto. I'm not from a bad area. I'm from a good city in Cilicia, in Turkey. Paul was from Turkey. Okay? So Paul was confused with an Egyptian man, another African. This is numerous occurrences in the Bible. Where? Give me Acts 13:1 now. We're going to just continuously dig this until nothing is left to dig. Acts 13:1.
The book of Acts, chapter 13 and verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon that was called nigger.
Simeon that was called nigger. These are Jews. These were Jews. Simeon was called a nigger. That was his surname because remember I showed you in other books where Black and Douglas, these are names we called out. Niggervel, Dub.
Right.
These are our surnames. We didn't call ourselves that by ethnicity. We were based upon our complexion. We named ourselves. The Black this, the Black that, nigger this, nigger that. That was a term of endearment back in the day. Now, today, it's a negative connotation in some instances. Like, man, well, like today we'll say something like, man, this nigga here.
Right.
That's how it was used back then. You understand? But it was a term we used back then. It wasn't derogatory until we were overthrown by those who were not niggers, and then they called us niggers as a negative connotation based upon the color of our skin to degrade us and denigrate us. But back then, nigger was the common term. And it's not Niger either, it's nigger. That's how you pronounce it. Properly, not Niger, Niger. Trying to make it all sound all French and romantic and all that. Niger. No, it's nigger. I like that word. It sounds good in my mind. It sounds good to me. It makes me feel good inside, and I hear it and say it numerous times. Whether in positive or negative connotation, I enjoy saying it. Because the Bible has it, and I'm glad the Bible has it in there. So now it's a biblical term now. So, Genesis 25:25. Genesis 25, verse 21. Let's get into the origin of the Israelites, the native versus the nominal. So we're going to go into how when they were born. We're going to go into the beginning of the nominals and the natives. The nominals are the people who will call themselves Jewish today or Israelis today or Zionists. These are the nominals. Nominals today. They're the nominals. We are the natives.
Right. That's right.
The originals, the aboriginals. That's who we are. Like you have white Americans today and you have Native Americans today. Who's a real Native American? Who's a real American, really? The Native Americans, who are Israelites as well. And they knew that. You watch my old shows going back. I reveal without a shadow of a doubt, historically, biblically, that they are the Israelites that were on this side of the world. Whether you call them Olmecs, whether you call them Toltecs, Chichimecs, Aztecs, Mayans, Incas, what's the other one? Mayans, Incas, Aztecs, North American Indians,
I think you named them all.
South American Indians, Yucatanians, whatever the hell it is. Nuato. These are our people. Oh, and by the way, I don't want to spoil it. If you've seen Black Panther 2,
Bring it out.
Bring it out.
If you've seen Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, the producers let you know that they know what we know regarding the Israelites being Native Americans. I gotta do it. I'm sorry. I gotta spoil it. I'm sorry.
Deke, just go ahead, Deke.
There's a scene.
Bring it out.
There is a scene in Wakanda Forever with Namor and Shuri. And Namor is the Tulakan king under the waters of Wakanda, or the Atlantic, I believe. And he takes her, I'm not going to give all the spoilers. He takes her underground to his realm. He takes her. Now, Shuri is very boyish and masculine in the movie, which I despised. Contrary to how she behaved in a lot less contrary to how she was in the original one. In this one, she is brought to Namor's realm, and she is told by one of his servants to put on a dress, number one, which I loved it. Okay, and their dresses were modest, and they wore them down past the ankles, past the knees. She had to wear that because you can't come before the king dressed like this. This is masculine. She didn't say that, but that's what I said. It sounded good. That's what she said to me. Anyway, she gives her the dress, and then I'm sorry. Before that, he goes, if you go to my realm, the pressure of the water will crush your bones. You gotta wear this suit. So she gets the suit. He's taking her through these underwater water tunnels, and she's floating through the tunnels. She makes it to Tulakan. I'll get to that in a minute. Tulakan. They arrive there. There's a little girl under the water swimming, smiling with her, and then Shuri says to the little girl, the little Aztec girl, "Shalom." Dang, shalom, and I'm not making it up. We watched it a dozen. We should play it. You have that video?
I can get it.
You please get it and put it on the screen. Yeah, she said shalom.
I heard that too.
To the little girl. Yeah. I watched it with the wife, and I was like, "Yo, babe, did she say shalom?" She was like, "Yes." I said, "Nah, I don't believe you. There's no way. There's no way they allowed this in the movie of a sister telling a Northern Kingdom sister in the movie, another Northern Kingdom sister in the movie, shalom. It's no way I heard what I heard." So we gotta play it real quick. Of course, it's a bootleg because people, you know how Jake do. We're gonna go into the movie and play it and film the screen. You know, we can't help ourselves. You know, not all of us got money like that. So we're gonna do what we gotta do. You know, we're gonna hustle. We're gonna hustle. So we're gonna play it really quickly, but it took us down.
Y'all have it?
I think so. I'm checking right now.
I know.
Hey, while we wait on
Adon
that,
has it.
Hey, pull up.
Oh, you got it?
Huh?
Pull up that ham.
Yeah, pull up the Bible dictionary of ham. While we wait.
Yeah, let's get that regarding ham.
Yeah, take it from the Bible. Just find one from the Bible.
Yeah, it's the Bible dictionary right here. Mm-hmm. All right, it says ham.
No, hold on, man. Trying to get the Bible, the one from the Bible.
No, we want this too.
You want that one too?
Yeah, just send them. Give it to them.
Yeah,
if you want to send them, but we want this.
Yeah.
Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes.
Not the Negroes. Not the Negroes. Not the Negroes. Go ahead.
But the Egyptians,
Africans.
Ethiopians,
Africans.
Libyans,
Africans.
and Canaanites.
More Africans. Go ahead. That's it.
That's it.
So he is not so Ham is not the father of the Negroes. But Shem is, but of the Hamites.
Right, but the Egyptians, they were dark races.
They were dark races, man. They were dark, and we showed the pictures of them on the walls.
Yeah, put the other one. And that one, Deke, in the regular Bible, the last paragraph says something very heavy.
Okay. This is the Bible now?
Yep.
Yeah,
this is a glossary in the Bible.
The regular Bible.
Okay.
Let me see if I got it.
Which Bible is that? When I was Cambridge?
The one you got, yep.
Hold on.
It's in the back of the Cambridge?
Yep.
Hold on, LaCroix. All right.
Yeah, he might be on.
Hold on a second. Ham?
Yeah, it's right up there. Look.
The ham?
Yeah, yep.
He's saying it casually too. Yep. It's there.
I don't see it. Ham? Was it ham?
Ham, it's ham.
Let me
Got it
see.
on the screen.
It's on the screen now?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I don't have it in mine.
Nah, I don't, man. You got what kind of Bible you got? Yeah, I don't have it
What
either.
Bible is that one?
The same one, the Cambridge.
Nah, it's not. It's not the same.
No, it's the same.
Nah, you got something special, huh?
But to buy yours. Get read it.
Anyway, it says Ham, hot, son of Noah. Jump down, says inhabitants. Oh, let me read the whole thing. It says Ham, hot, son of Noah. Genesis 5:32, 6.
It says
things.
cursed there. That's not true.
Yeah,
He
cursed.
wasn't cursed.
No,
No, I'm just saying he
No,
wasn't cursed. That's evil. It's saying he's cursed. The Lord did not curse Ham. He cursed Canaan. That's that biblical stuff. But go ahead. That's that racist stuff. But go ahead.
The names of his descendants are given in Genesis chapter 10, verse 6, 7. They were the southern nations. Cush equal the dark-skinned race of East Africa. And
Southern Arabia.
Southern Arabia. Mizraim equal Egyptians. Foot equal Libyans. Canaan equal inhabitants of Palestine before arrival of the Semitic races.
Right.
for the arrival of the Israelites.
Right before we got there. But it says the dark-skinned race of East Africa. The Libyans of East Africa also. The Egyptians is East Africa also. Ethiopia is East Africa also. These are all black people. Or Nubians. Nilotes. And the Israelites passed for them, and it says that they were there before we arrived there, before the Semitic races arrived there, which is us. The Semites arrived. Now, get what I want now. The beginning. You got it? Video yet? The video?
Yeah.
I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna go somewhere else. You know how I flow.
Telegram.
All right, go to Telegram. Knew you guys doing two things at one time. My apologies for that. But I wasn't expecting to do this. Here we go.
You gotta turn it up.
You got to turn it up some and listen very carefully what Sherry says.
I had the screen.
Yeah, keep it
recorded.
there because if you do that, it might mess
Yeah,
it
we
up.
just want to hear it anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
Hit play.
Disclaimer.
All disclaimer. She's in her little suit. Little girl. Rewind it. Rewind it. Little girl's under there, so greeting her. Happy. Watch this. Shalom. Damn. Why is he, pause. Why is a black woman telling a little Hispanic underwater girl shalom? Why?
Dang.
What is the reason behind that? Because these people know who they were. The Native Americans were Israelites. And it's not a coincidence that they would have a sister, a black woman, greet another Hispanic sister and say to her shalom. Because both of them are the same people.
Wow.
Shalom.
That's bad.
You can't make this up, man.
She didn't say, what do you mean by that?
Little girl wasn't like, huh?
She wasn't thrown off. Like,
They called it the mother tongue.
Yep.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
The mother tongue, they called it. Shalom.
Damn, he went deep in there.
Indeed.
So
Yeah.
the creators of the Black Panther, they know. They're letting us know that we guys know what you guys talking about. Well, and Esau said, we'll allow it. Niggas don't catch on. The ones that read understand. We're letting you know. We know what you guys are saying is true, but not enough people know for us to care. That's the thought. Yeah. We're gonna put it in the movie and we're gonna gauge who catches it, but not enough people in the world know enough for us to care about it. So we'll let it go in the movie. Why not? So what?
Only the was it esoteric?
Only the esoteric. That's a bad word. Only the esoteric. We're the esoteric in this room. Those of you who are watching, you're esoteric, meaning very, very few people who have minimal understanding of deep things. That's what esoteric means. All right? So now, read that. That's esoteric.
Yes, sir. Esoteric. Intended for are likely to be understood by only a small number of people with a specialized knowledge of or interest.
That's that scene was for. That scene was for the esoteric. The elect. The elite. We are the elites of our people. Because if you look at us here compared to those of us in the world, we're the elite. Now, Genesis 25.
Yes, sir.
Let's get into the origin of the nominal versus the native.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife.
Isaac was the son of Abraham, and his wife's name was Rebekah, and she was barren. She could not have children. Go ahead.
Because she was barren.
She was struggling to have a child. Go ahead.
And the Lord was entreated of him.
Isaac prayed, and the Lord finally heard their cry. Go ahead.
And Rebekah, his wife, conceived.
Rebekah finally got pregnant. Go ahead.
And the children struggled together within her.
Now, as she's going through this pregnancy, the children are struggling together in her womb. They're fighting. They're not getting along already. Go ahead. A struggle is a battle. So these children are in her womb. There's more than one, obviously, and they're not getting along. Remember, babies in the womb, infants are fighting in the womb. That's not normal. That's an odd occurrence. Go ahead.
And she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
If this pregnancy is of the Lord, we prayed for this. Why am I in such pain? Because she's hurting. Go ahead.
And she went to inquire of the Lord.
She sought the Lord. Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
2 nations are in your womb. So you have 2 different ethnicities in your womb. Why did the Lord tell her this? That answer explains why they're fighting. Because they're not the same people. So that's the first thing he says. 2 nations are in your womb. They're 2 separate nations. Now, why is that interesting? Why is that important to note? Because Isaac and Rebekah are the same race. So whatever Isaac puts inside his woman's womb is of that race. The Lord said, nope, not this time. I put 2 different nations in that man's balls and shot up inside of you. Just to be blunt with it, to be blunt. So normally when a black couple has children, they produce the same race. The Lord said, in this instance, no. This is the book of what? Genesis. This is the beginning of 2 different nations sharing the same origin. But they're different nonetheless. Read his answer again.
And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
2 nations, 2 races are in your womb. That's what God is saying to her. People go, oh, there's a difference between race and nation. Well, today, but in ancient time, the word nation is the same as race. Biblically speaking, nation and race are synonymous. Etymologically speaking, nation and race are synonymous. You go into the etymology of the word nation and the word race, they're synonymous. But let's get it. Give me nation real quick. Etymology.com. Nationetymology.com. Because we read here. We read. We're the intellectuals here. Nation etymology. Let's get it. What word is it? I mean, what year is it? Was it coined, I guess, or whatever? Used? Circa
Nation.
what?
Circa 1300.
So, circa 1300. Go ahead.
A race of people.
No, what's the word that's next to it? 1300.
Oh, nation.
Nation. Nation. Okay, go ahead.
A race of people.
Stop. A what?
A race of people.
So a nation is a race of people. It's the same word. Because today people go, oh no, your nationality is American, but you're Chinese by race. No. Today, yes. But originally, etymologically, that's the word I believe it is, etymologically, nation and race are synonymous terms. Read on.
Large group of people with common interests. Common ancestry. Sorry.
God. Read it again. What did it say?
Large group of people with common ancestry.
Large group of people with the same ancestry. Go ahead.
And language.
And that's a race. Go ahead.
From Old French, nation, birth, rank, descendants, relatives, country, homeland. And directly from Latin, nation, nominative, natio.
Natio. Yes, that's where the word comes from. Go ahead.
Birth, origin, breed, stock, kind, species, race of people.
Come on, man.
Tribe.
Tribes of Israel. Nation of Israel.
Stack of Israel.
Race of Israel. It's the same word. So when you read nations and that's race. It means the same thing. I don't got to go to race now. It already said I don't got to go to race now. All I need was nation. I'm good. Read on. Read the Lord's answer to her again.
Yes, sir. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
So the Lord told Rebekah, 2 races are in your womb, despite them both having the same origin. God says, no. I put 2 nations in your womb. Even though both of them are your children, they're 2 separate nations. So Jacob is that's their race. Esau is as well, but he's a separate nation from his brother. Go ahead.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
2 manner of people shall be separated from your bowels. Separated, not get along, not live together in harmony. Separated from your bowels. Go ahead.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
One people would endure hardness and turmoil and plights and slavery and undergo all kinds of afflictions and tribulations and just be physically stronger, period. Built stronger, built better, faster.
That's right.
Better. Read again.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other
We are stronger than the other. And they know it too. Esau has a thing in medical field. They say black people have a stronger tolerance for pain than other races do. That's what they say. They'll give black folks less doses of medications when they're in pain because they believe in the medical field that black folks are less susceptible to pain. Some would say that that's racist, and it could possibly relate to that. But the Bible says we're stronger. Esau can't work in the hot sun for 20 hours. They can't do it.
Nah.
They cannot do it. White folks kill themselves over money. We go and buy a beer. Oh man, I got fired, yo. Yup. Let me get a 5th. They're in the porch. Yeah, yo, I got fired, yo. I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. I don't know, man. I'm gonna figure it out, man. White folks go, oh God, I lost $1,000.
Yeah.
Gathered the whole
We don't do that.
Gathered the whole family and killed them.
We don't do that.
That right there is emotional damage.
Right. We're strong people. We go through it, man. We make it work. You'll have, even over the kingdom, Issachar, you speak to this, you'll have a whole bunch of them living in one house. They all making a certain amount of money, and they all put it together, and they make things work. Issachar lived by me. There's a house that was abandoned by my area, abandoned. Issachar came through there with truckloads, fixed the whole house. Family came together, fixed the house. We make it work. We're stronger like that. But of course, we've been beaten down, destroyed, and so forth. And so, there's levels to it. But nonetheless, the Bible says we're stronger. Go ahead.
And the elder shall serve the younger.
And the elder shall serve the younger. The elder shall serve the younger. I mean, the Lord is going to have it where the youngest is going to rule over the eldest. Go ahead.
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
There was twin boys in her womb. Go ahead.
And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment.
The first came out red all over like a hairy garment. He was red and hairy all over. Go ahead.
And they called his name Esau.
And they called this name Esau. And what Esau today, the European race has done is, what they've done is they've taken the word red, ruddy, and made it to mean Esau was ruddy or red. And David was ruddy. No. That's what Ben Yehuda did. Ben Yehuda's Hebrew made ruddy mean red. But the original origin of the word ruddy meant a healthy black complexion and high health. That's what it meant. A high, healthy condition of skin. That's what it meant. And in the case of our people, healthy, dark skin. Skin in high health. That's what ruddy meant. Then Esau said, no, it means red. Then they merged together. Ruddy, David was ruddy. Adam means red. Edom means red. They try to be slick with it. But we got the books that say otherwise. Dub and Rud or ruddy meant black. So they're not running with that. But Esau was red. He was actually red. Read on.
And after that came his brother out.
So what was the point of mentioning Esau's description if it had no importance? Why would the Most High tell Moses, make sure you write down how Esau came out looking? Because that look was important to let you know who he'd be later on in time. Go ahead. And after that, what?
And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's
So the
heel.
battle continued outside the womb. Remember, they were fighting in her womb. Then as they're being delivered out of her womb, she's pushing them out. Jacob's grabbing onto that heel. Where you going, Nick? Where you going? The battle continued outside the womb. Go ahead. So Jacob grabbed hold on Esau's heel. We'll get to that in a moment. Go ahead.
And his name was called Jacob.
And his name was called Jacob. And notice he is not described.
Right.
Why? Because he looked normal. He looked black, like his brother, like his mother and father. But Esau came out red and hairy all over. Jacob said Jacob came out also. And he didn't even write down Jacob's features. He looked normal. But he said, this one looked red and hairy. This one, normal. And he came out last, so he was younger. Go ahead.
And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
Because he prayed for her at 40, they had him at 60, 20 years later. 20 years later at that time. So, and I was young at the time. So 60 was still young. So, now, that's the beginning of, now jump to 27. Yes, sir. His name was changed to Edom. Give me that book, Edom and Khazaria, page 150, to show the scholars know about this. This book is called Edom. It's called The History of Edom and Khazaria, the Other Israel. The Nominals. Okay? By who? It says by, blow it up. By the what? By Melchizedek Lewis. Now, the book that I read before, who was Esau Edom, that guy that wrote, that authored that book. From what I've heard, someone posted in the comments that he was a white supremacist and that he believed that the white people outside of the nominals or Israelis are the 12 tribes of Israel. There's a doctrine of that the Aryan race pushes called British Israelism. They push the whole Aryan race thing. They push the whole Anglo-Saxon thing. The skinheads, they push that. That the Israelis today, or the nominals, are Edomites, and that they're Israel. But the reality is they're Edomites also. They're all Esau, because books that we brought out and that they wrote themselves and the scholars wrote when we was in chains described the Anglo-Saxons, or the original old world Anglo-Saxons, as black people. And then when the white man began to take over the world and take over land by land, country by country, state by state, and so forth, and began to conquer us within those realms, he then took on the name Anglo-Saxon, or he became the New World Anglo-Saxon, which is a whitewashed version of what we once were when we ruled over England and Scotland and Britain. We called it the black divisions.
Right. 3 black
It was
divisions.
called the 3 black divisions because we ruled. Now, get the page now. This book is called Edom and Khazaria, the other Israel. Khazars are the other Israel because they're so-called, the nominals, the fake ones. Go to, blow it up. Go up to the top. This is called, go to, what page is that, 151? Okay, blow it up. Let's say it there. It says what? It says the what?
East of Edom.
East of Edom. Go ahead.
The Jerusalem Post, October the 1st, 1997, illustration.
This is an illustration of the east of Edom. Go down. You see, what does it say there?
Medieval illustration of Jacob blessing Esau.
Medieval illustration of Jacob blessing Esau, who is what?
Who is identified with the Edomites.
Go up, please, to the picture again. Now, you see Jacob there sitting down, blessing Esau with the pottage of lentils. That right there is Jacob. You make Jacob bigger, please. Make him bigger. Jacob, go over them, please. There's no denying this is a black man.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The nose, the lips, the woolly hair, the beard is woolly, and he's dark. Now go to his brother. He has the so-called halo around him. Go ahead, go to Esau now. That's Esau the hunter. Look how white he looks compared to Jacob. Go to Jacob again. It's two different people. This is an illustration in the Jerusalem Post. Where's this from? Go to the next page. This is an illustration found in Dark Ages. Read that what it say?
Excerpts from East of Edom, Jerusalem Post article, October 1st, 97. News of the discovery of the Idumean Ostraka.
Read again.
News of the discovery of the Idumean Ostraka.
Go on Google Ostraka, please. That's plural. I believe I think the singular is Astrakhan or something like that. Let's see what that is. Let's see what this illustration's painted on. Ostraka. What is Ostraka? Let's see what that is. This is a medieval illustration of Jacob blessing Esau that was found in the Jerusalem Post back in 97. Read that. What does it say there?
An Astrakhan.
An Astrakhan is the singular. An Ostraka is more than one Astrakhan. Go ahead.
An Astrakhan, Greek Astrakhan, plural, is a piece of pottery, usually broken off from a vase or other earthenware vessel. And in archaeological or epigraphical context, ostraka refer to sherds or even small pieces of stone that have writing scratched into them.
So go to that picture right there to the right. Give you an example. Click that right there. So you see that right there? That's an example of an ostraka. So they found that illustration drawn on a vase of some kind of Jacob blessing Esau. And they posted it in the Jerusalem Post back in 97 of October of Jacob blessing Esau. So Esau is depicted as a white man. Jacob is a not. Because they're two different nations. The native blessing the nominal. That's what that is. Okay? Now, get me, as I was saying, so the author of the book right there, go to that book right there, Who's Esau Edom? Go to that book right there. So the author of this book right here, Who is Esau Edom, he is basically saying that they're not Esau, but the so-calleds are, but they're Edom as well. They think that they believe that the British and French and so forth are the 12 tribes. Well, they were until you guys, Edomites, came in the land and took it over and pushed us out of there and assumed their identities.
Right.
You conquered Japheth first, okay, and took over there, and then and the list goes on and on. You conquered the Native Americans, claim to be them. You conquered the Israelites, claim to be them. The list goes on and on. Hell, you conquered the damn Egyptians and claim to be them too.
Everybody.
Conquered everybody and claim to be them. Okay, so the author of this book is from what I heard, is a white. He's basically a Anglo-Saxon doctrine, British Wiseman, British Israelism, but he's not wrong about them. The evidence he brings forth regarding Esau, the points he made about Esau and trying to hide himself is all on point. The problem is that he thinks he's not Esau. He's Esau too. That's the only problem with the book, was that he's confused. Other than that, his facts are on point. And he's citing from sources that I have that he did not write, substantiating his claims about Khazars being nominals or Israelis today. Now, get me Heritage Civilization book, Heritage Civilization. I think it's a white book. Heritage Civilization, I think it's called. Page 15. Heritage Civilizations, something like that. I gave it to y'all. It's a white book.
Deacon, that Edomite that wrote the Esau Edom, he went in from beginning to end on Amalek.
Yeah, he did. He did. He sure did. Yes, this is it. You have to cover the book. You have the cover, or just the folder. Show the cover, so we're not just pulling. If you don't have the cover, that's fine. But from now on, please take a picture of the cover from now on, so they know what we're reading from. Because I'm only citing what the book is called, but I don't have the cover now.
They bring the book back up?
I didn't bring the book.
Oh, okay.
I didn't bring it back up. That's my book. I didn't bring it. I thought you guys took a picture of the cover. Whatever. Let's go. We're wasting time. 2:16. All right. So blow this up here. Blow it up. These are Egyptians. These are Egyptians, okay? This is a book called Heritage, Civilization, page 15, right? What page is this? Yes, page 15. These are Egyptians. The Israelites passed for this. Paul passed for this. Joseph passed for this. Moses passed for this. Go to page 24. Same book, page 24. Throw it up, page 24. Lord, bring it in, bring it in. Bring it down. Who's this? Go down. What does it say?
So the expulsion of the Hyksos may have marked the end of Hebrew power in Egypt.
Right, these guys, the Hyksos may have been of Semitic origin or Hebrew origin. Not Israelites, but Hebrews. Because you have various Hebrew nations. Okay, that came out of Eber. Okay, go ahead.
And the beginning of the descent into bondage. Here, a Semite humbles himself in an Egyptian tomb painting.
So you see a Semite or possibly a Hyksos humbling himself down to an Egyptian. You see the distinction between the two? There is none because they're both black. Go up to the picture. Go up. He's groveling down to the Egyptian right there. And the Semite on his knees with an afro. Okay? He's humbling down. So he's the Semites. Go to page 29. Let's see who these guys are. Go down. Remember, it's in the book that LaCroix brought out, it says before the Semites arrived in these lands. What does it say there?
And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage.
Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 1, verse 13 to 14. Semitic captives are shown in this ancient Egyptian painting.
These are Israelites. These are Israelites drawn on the walls of Egypt. Okay? That's what these are. That's why I was quoting that scripture there, letting you know who it is. Because if it was the Hyksos, they wouldn't put that there. That's the Israelites there. Go to page 30. I'm trying to understand where you guys, you nominals, there's a confusion there. That's Miriam right there. Look, Miriam. How the hell is that Miriam? And other Hebrews. How?
Is this?
That's them throwing confusion out there. Go to page 30. Next page. Miriam. Hell out of here, man. Go to that picture right there to the top left. What does it say?
Of all the sages who taught at the Academy of Surah, the most celebrated was Rab Ashi, 335 to 427.
That's page 30? What do I want this page? Let me see. Go down. What's page 30?
No, this is 110.
Page 30.
30, I said.
Said
Not
30.
110. Okay, that's 110. That's 130. Right. Okay, go to 110 again. I want it for some reason. Go to 110. I wanted it for some reason. Let me see.
You talking about this page, Deacon?
Yeah, it's 110.
Yes, sir.
Let me see. Blow it up. Let me see that picture. Move it over to him. Move it over. No, why do I want this? Go down. Let me see. Move it over. Down. Let me see. Okay. Go up. Let me see. Wait. Go down to the illustration there. Right. Stop. Babylonian Talmud. It's not what I wanted, but that's important to have there. Go down, abstain from our first communion. Christianity developed the theology that claimed antiquity through notes in Judaism. Because the Testament is referred to as constantly. Go down. Christian crown. The Jewish part of drugs. Tells us as a part of Christian history. It's true. Go up. There's some good stuff in there, though. Thought I wanted. Let me see. It's probably the wrong page.
We took a page of this last week.
Anything else? Anything else you got in there in this book or no? That's the last thing.
I got 111 and 112.
Get 111 to 112. Blow it up.
Oh,
That's what I wanted. Let me see. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Now, see his afro there? Woolly afro? Yeah. Who is that? Look at his nose. Go in some more. You going some more?
Damn.
Look at that big the nose and lips, man. And that afro. Go down. Let's see what that is. Go down. Let's see what this is. Bring it in. Oh, that's John the Evangelist.
Wow.
Here portrayed in 101 AD, here portrayed in a frieze dating from 800 was the disciple first of John the Baptist, and then of Jesus. That's John the Revelator.
Wow. Go back up to the
Go up to the page again. His hands and feet are huge. Just everybody made him tall. Look at his afro, nose, and lips. Go back to this, zoom in again. That's him right in Revelation right there. Or John, Book of John. Go up. Look at that nose and lips and that hair.
Yeah, that's
You ain't getting around this. That's John the Revelator. Okay? That's who of Revelation right there. That's how he's depicted in 800. It's a freeze from 100 AD, which is what? The same time that Revelation was completed. Go back down to when it was, read it again. Go down to the bottom of it again. Go down to the bottom of it again, right there.
St. John, the evangelist, dated about 101 Common Era.
Right, dated around 100. That's the time he was around. 100 or 96 between 100 when he wrote Revelation. Go ahead.
Here portrayed in a frieze dating from about 800 was a disciple, first of John the Baptist and then of Jesus of Nazareth. To St. John is attributed the fourth gospel, representing a powerful synthesis of Platonic philosophy and Messianic belief.
Correct. So that's John the Revelator depicted as a black man with an afro, a wide nose, and lips. So real quick, let's take a quick break right now. We'll be right back. I'll give you that little gem real quick. We'll be back. Stay tuned.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again, the second time, to recover the remnant of his people.
It's you who don't know. It's you Afro-Syrians who don't know your history.
And going to the other side of India, you see the Dalits as well as the Siddhis. Same thing on the Eastern Hemisphere. Mass incarceration, police brutality, lynchings, convict leasings.
You brothers and sisters in South Sudan, your heritage goes far deeper than where you live. You are the children of God.
Ein Herz, das arge Ränke. Was sind
Vamos poder suportar.
Les Français. Laat je niet misleiden tot filosofie van.
Shalom, Most High in Christ, bless you all. I'm Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Some time ago, many of you saw us at the Barclays Center, standing for what the Bible says, standing for truth, standing for righteousness. That's what we do. Most recently, the Jewish community, in particular the ADL, SPLC, have voiced their opinion that black people do not have freedom of speech nor freedom of religion to say they're Semitic. Neither to say that they're Jews of the tribe of Judah, belonging to the 12 tribes of Israel, which is according to 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 46 to 53. And unless we apologize and submit ourselves to these people's will, we have no place in society. Brothers and sisters, this is nothing but disguised racism from the 1400s, 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, 1800s. This it got to stop. They follow the legacy of director J. Edgar Hoover, who said the worst thing to the United States of America is Negro unity. I think that's exactly how he said it. Black unity is a fear to the Jewish community. I wonder why. Black unity is a fear to white society. I wonder why. Is it white guilt? I don't know. But we can delve into the Bible and possibly we can all find out together. J. Edgar Hoover established COINTELPRO. He forbid the rise of a black messiah. He forbid any type of black community. Y'all saw what happened to Black Wall Street when we got together. They bombed us. And this is why I understand why many of you black men and black women don't stand up for one another. A lot of you are afraid. You are scared. But this group right here, we ain't afraid of nothing, all right? I want y'all to understand that. All the great black leaders that have risen up, J. Edgar Hoover had a hand in their demise. From Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. After them, Fred Hampton, Khalid Muhammad, Johnny Cock, even Hugo Chavez, who tried to help the black community. Always somebody was exiled or assassinated. None of y'all see nothing wrong with that? Y'all keep playing these people's game. Israel United in Christ is a Bible-based organization that teaches that blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians are part of the true 12 tribes of Israel. When you read Deuteronomy 28, verse 15 through 68, we change lives, brothers and sisters, transforming boys into men, into husbands, girls into women, into wives, into mothers. That's what we do. Family is the core of any strong people. Like Marcus Garvey said, up you mighty race, up you mighty race. God's commandments is the backbone of our holy people. That keeps us organized, that keeps us strong, that keeps us focused. Today they call talk like what I'm talking, hate speech. Sure, you can rap and jigaboo around the stage and talk about drugs, murder, child molestation even. That's fine. But the second you talk about black unity, black family, black love, hate speech, anti-Semitic. None of y'all see this. I know I'm expecting too much from you athletes, too much from you actors. Really shouldn't expect too much from you at all. But the average black man, the average brothers and sisters like myself, it's time for you and I to organize, get ourselves together, repent of our sins, and do according to the word of God as the Israelites. To say that we are the Israelites today or read a quote from the Bible that was written over 2,000 years ago, they call it anti-Semitism. Christianity is not a threat to society. Islam is not a threat to society. But to say that you're an Israelite, to wake up to your true identity, that's a threat. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And everybody plays victim. While we were at the Barclays Center, a so-called Jewish girl walked up. Do you want to hurt Jewish people? Are you kidding me? Do you go to acting school to make believe that you're always a victim of something? We're marching. We're walking. You run to us and ask us, do we want to hurt you, and start crying? Are you kidding me? This BS, this malarkey has to stop. Always playing the victim. I'm a victim, but I run society. Stop it. Foolishness, total foolishness, all right? Brothers, sisters, we must unite as a people. We must come together as the 12 tribes of Israel. When you read Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1, and it reads, gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. See, you've never seen that. You've never seen black people organized like you've seen us. But understand this, you are that nation that no one desires. They want...
Yep, we're back from the break. The book, we found the cover of that I showed you of John the Evangelist on page 111. That was this book right here. Those of you who are interested in what book that was being used, I warn you that this man has the power to remove books from shelves. I'm not sure if you're aware, but the book that Kyrie Irving, the documentary that he watched is also in book form, and they wrote Amazon, the League of Nominals, wrote to Amazon to have the documentary removed from the platform, and Barnes & Noble dropped the book from the shelves.
Damn.
Okay? So letting you know that they have the power to have books removed from shelves. That's my point. That's why I meant bringing that up, because now we know that they can either raise the price. They'll either raise the price up, or they will have it removed from the shelves, things of that nature. But this book, go ahead.
Some books that we've came across are banished from the U.S.
Yeah, we gotta get them out. We have to get them out the country.
They banished the books.
Yeah, they banished them. Right, it banned them. Mm-hmm. So.
But this is the cover of the book right here.
That's the cover right there with John the Baptist, John the Revelator, with the afro, with the nose and lips clearly. What page is that? 111? 111. Go to 112. You got 112 too? Yes, let's see what's in there. Load up. Let me see. Load up some more so I can read what that says.
Yes, sir. In Europe, the Black Huns, led by Attila.
Attila. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Dated 453. Rampaged through Italy and were prevented from sacking the city of Rome, only by the intercession of Pope Leo I.
Okay, I don't know why I have this, but that's very important to have. Black Huns. We'll get back to that one day. We'll go back to that. That's crazy. I know that's in here. Black Huns. We'll get back to that. Let that go. Let it go.
We have some stuff on
Yeah, we
I
got
have
stuff
some
on
stuff.
that. We gotta go back to that another time. That's gonna take us somewhere else. Black Huns by Attila. All right. So going back to the point of the Israelites passing for Egyptians. I showed you the pictures of Egyptians. Give me Joseph out of Our Living Bible.
Bring it out. Hey, remember, we black. We didn't write these books.
Yeah, it's written there. This book was written by Michael Aviona and Emil G. Kraling. So does that sound like we wrote it? No, we did not write that. Michael Aviona. Our Living Bible. Let's blow it up. Let's see who this is. Bring it in. That is Joseph, rising to power from slave, prisoner to vizier of Egypt. Read that.
So Joseph found favor in his sight and attended him, and he made him overseer of his house. The blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in house and field. Genesis chapter 39, verses 4 to 5.
Another book we have it has Joseph depicted as a black man. There's like a wide nose, an afro.
Right.
But there's a white guy talking to him, though. It caused confusion with that one.
You brought that book out during warning shots.
Yeah, man.
The second warning shot.
I wish I knew what the book that was in. There's a picture of Joseph with an afro. He's dark with a wide nose, lips, everything.
Remember that.
It's a depiction of Joseph in Egypt. But they threw a white guy in there to kind of throw you off. So white Egyptians, there were white Egyptians when the Greeks took over Egypt under Ptolemy. Those are white ones. The Edomites took over Egypt and claimed to be Pharaoh.
With Cleopatra.
All of them was white women, all of them. Now, get me. What do I want? Where do I start? Thank you, brothers. Shouts to the IT team, man. Shouts for moving fast. I bought all these books today. All these books he got here, thanks to you, brothers and sisters who contribute and donate. This book right here, all right, it's called The History of the Inquisition by Philip A. Lombard, translated into English by Samuel Chandler in 2 volumes. Philippus von Lamborg, History and Geography, okay? This was, because it's a reprint, it was in 1731. White eyes only. White eyes only. Volume 1, The History of the Inquisition by Philip A. Lombard. MDCCXX 1, 1731. So you know where we was at in 1731. That's 100 years, not even 130 years before the Emancipation Proclamation.
You still on the
We was on the ships if this book was being published. Okay? To the Queen Regent. Okay? So we was in chains this time. 1731. The History of the Inquisition by Philip A. Lombard. Volume 1 of 2. This is volume 1 right here. I left volume 2 home. I got both. And we want page 131.
Bring it out.
Regarding what led up to the slave trade. The Spanish Inquisition is what brought about assisted the trans-Saharan slave trade going along, and eventually led into the transatlantic slave trade, which eventually involved the Negroes and Native Americans being shipped off back and forth to Spain and many other colonized areas of the Portuguese and Spaniards. Okay? So I want whatever page, whatever you get first, just read it. It don't even matter to me. It's going to be damage being done regardless of what page I pull.
Blow it up.
You better buy the book while you still can. You know, when we use it, it's gone.
Go ahead.
I'm
sorry. The History of the Inquisition. The opinions that are ascribed to the...
What page is this?
44.
What did I want? I wanted 45.
45.
44.
All right.
45. Yeah.
All right. As to matrimony, that is always sinful and cannot be without sin, and was never appointed by the good God. Also, that carnal matrimony between, blow it up some more.
It's going into them torturing us. During the Inquisition, it's going into the torturing of the Jews that were keeping the laws of God. They were torturing us. It's going into that.
That carnal matrimony between a man and woman is not true matrimony, nor good nor lawful, nor appointed by God, but a quite different spiritual matrimony. As to the incarnation of Christ, that the Lord did not take a real humane body, nor a real humane flesh of our nature, and that he did not really arise with it, nor do...
That's on a different topic. Go to 131. No, 128. It's taking us somewhere else. 128, 129. 128, 129, and then 131. So that's going into them torturing us based upon our beliefs against the Catholic Church. That's what I was going into. I don't want that. 128. That's why I put the books with me, so that way I don't.
We start at the top, Deep.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Yeah, so understand these so-called, the rest of you Edomites, you're going to try to come and debunk the books that we're bringing out. Y'all wrote these books.
Right, yeah.
All we do is just bringing it out. Okay, like the Deacon said, they white eyes only type books. We was in slavery when these books was coming out.
Mm-hmm. Did that the Jews driven? Let me see. I want the one from the top. Yes, stop from the top. This is crazy.
All right. After this, he laid down a crucifix before them and departed. When the time was elapsed, they who persisted in their religion were forced to depart with their wives, children, servants, families, and effects, and forbid ever to return into Spain, where if they were ever after found, they were to be immediately punished with death and confiscation of goods. It was also provided by the pragmatic laws that no Jew should ever enter Spain upon any pretense whatsoever, under the same penalty of death and confiscation of goods, if ever found there, and that it should signify nothing, though they declared they were willing to be converted to the faith, unless they should make public prostitution of it upon their first entrance into the kingdom. And if any Christian was convicted of harboring the Jews, all his effects were to be forfeited.
So if you were harboring a Jew, observing Judaism, you lost your possession. You got your joints repossessed. Your possessions repossessed, pretty much. So that was a punishment. So you couldn't hide us from the Christian church. Go ahead.
Pragmatic 5 at Grenada, 1492.
What year?
1492.
That year sounds so familiar. That's the year that Columbus came over here and conquered the Native Americans. This happening at the same time. This is simultaneously happening. One nation being conquered on this side of the world, one nation being conquered on the other side of the world. Same people. Go ahead.
In 1499, John...
And the wealth acquired during this expulsion is what funded Columbus's voyage to this side of the world. When they were confiscating our goods in Spain and Portugal and our wealth, the crown took that wealth and funded Columbus's voyage and eventually funded the army he brought along with it, or with him. Go ahead.
John Picus, Earl of...
Jump down to, what page is that? What page is that? I'm sorry, I lost my place. Was 20...
What page is this?
128.
128. Go down to the Jews. Let's get to the point. No. Where you at, the Jews?
No, John Picus, Earl... Highlight where I'm at.
Yes, I know. I can read along with you. John Picus, that's it. Go ahead, keep going.
John Picus, Earl of Mirandola, gives a fine account of this expulsion in his book against astrologers.
Yeah, here we go.
The number of those who were thus banished from Spain were 400,000 Jews.
Those who were banished from Spain were 400,000 Jews. Go ahead.
According to Rebelin and others. Mariana says, 'tis not easy to reduce them to any certain number. Most writers affirm there were 170,000 families that departed. Mm-hmm. Others say there were 800,000.
There was millions. They did this trying to play games. Go ahead.
800,000 persons.
A prodigious number.
A prodigious number, almost exceeding belief.
That's how you know it's millions. Too many to count. Go ahead.
Some of them who were a little more dilatory in gathering together their effects and would not turn Christians.
Those who chose, I'm not going nowhere. I've been here for years. I ain't leaving. I'm staying here. I'm not converting to that doctrine. I'm staying here. I'm keeping God's laws, staying here. Go ahead.
Were sold for slaves.
They were what?
Sold for slaves.
These Jews were sold for slaves during the Inquisition. Watch, read on.
And those who left their country. Soretta tells us many died of the fatigues of traveling or the plague.
Many died from travel. Back when we ran from Spain and Portugal back into Africa. We died during the travel trying to escape. Go ahead.
The Jews, thus driven from Spain, fled for the most part into Portugal and obtained from King John under certain conditions that they.
King John, he said, wherever these Jews go, there's money involved. That goes for the black Jews and the converts, Edomites we have among us with them. Go ahead.
That they might live there for a certain season. The conditions were chief these, that everyone should pay to the king 8 pieces of gold and leave.
Oh, no, but chiefly these. The conditions were chiefly these.
Oh, sorry. The conditions were chiefly these.
It's a race, though. But they were chiefly these. Go ahead.
That everyone should pay to the king 8 pieces of gold.
So he taxed them. If you want to live with me in Portugal, you got to pay extra money. We want the money. Because wherever Israel is, we're the money. We're the economics. America's wealth is based upon us, our spending, our money. Go ahead.
And leave Portugal within a limited time.
But you can't stay here. Go ahead.
And forfeit their liberty if they exceeded it.
Wow.
And that the king should grant them free liberty to
sail away
whilst the king lived. Moses tells us he took great care to perform his promise to the Jews. He commanded his officers in the ports that they should agree with the masters of ships for transporting the Jews where they pleased for a reasonable price.
Right.
And further, ordered that no one should injure them. But it happened. Otherwise. For the merchants and masters who had received the Jews on board their ships used them very cruelly at sea.
Wow. Go ahead.
Not contented with the price they had agreed for, they used all the methods they could invent to extort more from them. And besides this, even forced their wives and daughters.
Wow.
These horrid abuses.
Raped our daughters, go ahead, and wives. Go ahead.
These hard abuses terrifying the Jews that yet remain in Portugal, and not being able through poverty to purchase within the time the necessaries for their voyage, suffered it to elapse.
So he gave them a certain time where they can stay, but they had to leave. If they exceeded the time, they were allowed to stay. Go ahead.
Suffered it to elapse and thus lost their liberty.
They were made slaves. They lost their freedom. Those they were allowed in Portugal, yes, to stay for a certain duration of time to gather their goods, whatever. But after a certain time, if you stay beyond that time, you lost your liberty. Go ahead.
And he who wanted a Jew servant begged him of the king. In the meanwhile, King John died. His successor Emmanuel, finding that the Jews could not help staying longer in Portugal than the time fixed them by John, gave them all their liberty. Sometime after this, he was advised by the king and queen of Castile.
So Spain got into Portugal's ears to make them do what? Treat us the same way in Portugal as they did to us over there. Go ahead. White folks working together. Go ahead.
This he was advised by the king and queen of Castile by letters not to suffer that wicked nation, hated by God and man.
Wait. This sounds so familiar. Damn. This sounds like Esther 13:4, right? We're going to read that in a few seconds. Read it again.
Says
don't suffer that what?
Don't suffer. It says not to suffer that wicked nation, hated by God and man, to abide in Portugal.
Spain told Portugal, don't let that wicked nation, hated by God and man, to stay there. And he called them a nation. They were a race of people. Esther 13. It's the same people doing the same thing over and over because they hated us. Read that.
The book of Esther, chapter 13 and verse 4. Declared unto us that in all nations throughout the world there were scattered a certain malicious people that had laws contrary to all nations.
Wicked nation. Go ahead.
And continually despised the commandments of kings.
We had our own laws. Again, outside of Spain and Portugal's laws. Go ahead.
So as the uniting of our kingdoms, honorably intended by us, cannot go forward.
In this instance, Spain and Portugal's alliance. Go ahead.
Seeing then, we understand that this people alone is continually in opposition unto all men.
Hated by God and man. Same thing being said. Go ahead.
Differing in the strange manner of their laws. And evil affected to our state, working all the mischief they can, that our kingdom may not be firmly established.
Is that it in that verse?
Yes, sir.
That's all I want. You go back to the book again. After mature deliberation. After mature, the last sentence of the book. After mature deliberation.
After mature deliberation of the affair, he commanded all the Jews.
To what? Next page. Watch this. All the Jews and what?
He commanded all the Jews and Moors.
He commanded all the Jews and Moors.
In Portugal.
Go ahead.
Who would not profess the Christian religion.
Who would not profess the Christian religion. Who would not profess the Christian religion. Who would not profess the Christian religion. Go ahead.
To depart the kingdom.
Get out. You don't want to serve white Jesus? Get out of here. You got to go. Go ahead.
And set them a day.
Give them a day. Go ahead.
After which, if any of them were found there, they should forfeit their liberty.
Lose their freedom. Be made slaves. And those who exceeded their time limit were made servants by the king. He said, okay, you're going to be a slave. Go serve a Spaniard. Go ahead.
The Moors immediately passed over into Africa.
Where do we go? Where they run to?
Over into Africa.
They ran to Africa. Go ahead.
And as the Jews were preparing to depart, the king commanded that all their children who were not above 14 years old should be taken from their parents.
Wow. Wow.
Dang.
Go ahead.
And educated in the Christian religion.
Damn.
And done what?
And educated in the Christian religion.
Bruh, come on. And educated in the Christian religion. Deuteronomy 28, verse 41. You cannot make, Bishop said it before, there's two indoctrinations. State, what is it? He said church and state. Church and state.
So school and church.
School and church. And school goes to sports. It's linked hand in hand. Read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 41.
Damn.
Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
32.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fell with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand.
Yeah, that's all I want. Watch this. Read on. It's going to say the exact same thing you just read this now. Read on. It was, what's that? About 14 years old.
So, yeah, it was a most affecting.
So the children who were not beyond 14 years old were taken from their parents. So 14 and up, they was good. But 14 and under, they were taken from their parents. Go ahead.
It was a most affecting thing to see children snatched from the embraces of their mothers and fathers, embracing their children, violently torn from them, and even beat with clubs to hear the dreadful cries they made, and every place filled with the lamentations and yells of women.
No might in thine hand. This is Bible. This is a reoccurring curse, you stupid ass apologetics. It happened already. You don't know a damn thing. You stupid as hell. This happened in Spain and Portugal. That's part of the curses. Read on.
Many, through indignation, threw their sons into pits.
Many out of anger to lose their children to the white man, threw them in pits. Go ahead.
And others killed them with their own hands.
They would strangle their kids to death rather than give them to the white man's hands. Go ahead.
What added to their misery was that those who would have gone over to Africa to avoid these evils were
where? Go where?
What added to their misery was that those who
go where? You missed it. Go where?
Would have gone over to Africa.
That part. Go back to it again.
Right. That those who would have gone over to Africa.
Those who would choose to flee to Africa. Flee to Africa. Matthew 2:13. We always did that. We always ran there. Or further in there, rather. We were always in Africa. But we ran further into the interiors of Africa from white persecution. Christ's parents did the same thing. Read that.
The book of Matthew, chapter 2 and verse 13.
The Messiah's parents fled from the same people or same race into the same landmass. Read.
And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph.
The angel told a couple to do what?
In a dream, saying, Arise And take the young child and his mother.
And flee where?
And flee into Egypt.
Flee into Africa. Flee into Africa. Israel did the same exact thing over. That's why there's dozens of colonies and areas and settlements where Israel was prior to the transatlantic and trans-Saharan slave trade. We always fled there. We had family there. They didn't run there just for fun. Let's just run there randomly. They were trying to run to their family out there. Read.
And be thou there until I bring thee word.
And then be thou there until I tell you to return. Go ahead, Jess. Go ahead.
What added to their misery was that those who would have gone over to Africa,
those who would have, they didn't make it. Go ahead.
To avoid these evils.
To avoid the evils, they fled into Africa. Read.
Were not suffered. For the king deferred giving them the liberty of sailing day after day. And all
so what he did was, when those who were trying to escape, who had time to leave, he would buy the time, waste time. Nah, stay. So their time would go by. So they say their time would run out. He did it on purpose. So they couldn't leave. Those who couldn't leave or went past their time were made as slaves. So what they did was, okay, now you can stay longer. You're good. I'll extend your time. But it wasn't extended. That was deliberate. Read on.
And although at first he assigned them 3 ports where they might go on board.
See, so he assigned us 3 ports so we can get on board. Go ahead.
He afterwards forbid their selling.
See? Go ahead.
From any other but that of Lisbon. This brought a vast number of the Jews to that city. But in the meanwhile, the appointed day was past.
See, the appointed day is past. Go ahead.
So that such of them as could not get off were necessarily made slaves.
Wow.
Most of them, being overcome with these calamities, chose rather, either sincerely or feignedly,
falsely,
to make profession of Christianity.
Yes. They say, okay, I'm Christian, or they faked it. Go ahead.
Than to live in such miseries, and being baptized, recover their liberty and children.
So in being baptized, they were given back what? Their children and their liberty. And when they're baptized, what they're baptized with? New names. Christian names, Spaniard names. Yeah, Spaniard names.
Damn.
Yeah, go ahead, read on.
Like Antonio.
Antonio, all that. What's it called? Tony something?
Yeah, it reminds me of everything that happened over this side of the earth.
Same thing on this side of the world. Same thing on this side of the world. Go ahead.
No violence, however, was offered to the Moors. Least the Saracens in Asia and Africa should make reprisals on the Christians in those countries. The Papists usually ascribe this action of the kings to a pious mind and his zeal to propagate the Christian religion and provide for the salvation of children, and yet in the meanwhile condemned it as wicked and unjust and contrary to the laws and constitutions of the gospel.
See? So we were contrary to the laws, the Constitution. That's what Haman said in Esther. These guys are contrary to all men. Same thing. Now, get page 131. 131.
It says, this tumult spread beyond the kingdom of Granada. Ximenes, by the permission of the Inquisitors.
These are Christianity cops. If they would go around and investigate, investigate if you were observing Judaism. Go ahead. And if you were tortured and arrested or sold into slavery. Go ahead.
Endeavored to force certain Moors called Elibes, who had embraced Christianity and afterwards rejected it, to become Christians again.
What was a Moor called? That was Moriscos. Moors that converted to Christianity were called Moriscos. Or Elebes. Go ahead.
And commanded their children to be violently taken from them and baptized.
So the same thing that happened to the Jews was happening to the Moors. The Jews are those who observed Judaism. The Moors were Jews that observed Islam.
Same people.
Same people, different ideology. Undergoing the same calamities because they're the same people. Go ahead.
This was the beginning of troubles, which afterwards...
What?
This was the beginning of troubles.
Sorrows. Go ahead.
Which afterwards grew to such an height that the Moors formed a conspiracy and rebelled in many places. But as their forces were inferior to the Spaniards, they were subdued and forced to turn Christians. The king granted that as many as would should go over to Africa, and provide them with ships to transport them at the port of Astopa, demanding from everyone that went over 10 pieces of gold only as the price of their liberty. They who would not leave their country, he ordered to become sincere Christians. Thus, agreement being made, many went into Africa.
Many went where?
Into Africa.
Go ahead.
Though most of them remained in Spain.
Many of them remained in Spain. Go ahead.
Pretending themselves to be Christians.
To live comfortably. Go ahead.
But not a
jot better.
Not a jot better than those who left it, being of a very abstinent and wicked disposition.
Mm-hmm.
And 1501, Ferdinand, king of Castile, at the instigation of Pope Alexander, Bosworth took great pains in
catechizing
the Moors.
Catechizing means converting the Moors. Catechizing the Moors. Go ahead.
And preventing their apostasy. He published an edict in Castile against the Moors in that province, and especially against those of Andalusia, Granada, and Aragon, commonly called Miragetes, who lived and traded promiscuously with the pious, that unless they would become Christians, they should depart his dominion within a certain day.
Watch this.
Upon the death of Ferdinand, Charles succeeded him. The new converts offered him 800,000 pieces of gold if he would command that the witnesses at the tribunal of the Inquisition should be always made public. The young king, who was about 18 years old, had a great mind to the money, but Cardinal Ximenes, Inquisitor General,
so he wanted the money. If you guys give me money, you can stay. But this Pope, the church leader said what? Read.
Showed him the great danger of such a method, and that the church would receive great injury by it. And by putting him in mind of his grandfather Ferdinand, prevailed with the king to refuse the offer.
Damn. So just showing you, our people fled further into Africa. The Jews and Moors fled into Africa, and that's what I want. Now, let's get some more. What do I want?
Hey, don't sleep. Same thing gonna go down.
Mm-hmm. Dang, it's crazy. What's in here?
That book probably, or is it $1,000 now?
Yeah, that book.
Get page.
It's a heavy book.
I want this one. Give me page 380 of his book called it's called The Home Tutor. Page 380.
For those that are paying attention, what Bishop was bringing out last night, this is the same people, man. The same race of people over and over again doing the same thing to us. You understand?
During the Greek captivity?
Yeah, Greek captivity, Roman captivity. And here we are doing the Inquisition when they came back into power. So what do you think going to happen this time around?
Can you Google Jazz, when y'all look up when this book was written, Home Tutor, Treasury? It's 1800s as well, so that's showing the year. I got this book from India, by the way. India. It's a reprint. It's called Home Tutor. All right? Complete library, useful knowledge by best masters. I'm trying to find the year really fast on.
This is the one.
This is wide eyes only as well, but it's not showing the years. It's very old. I can tell by the print. Part 1.
Wide eyes only. But yeah, it's definitely early 1800s, Deacon.
Yes, early 1800s book. Go to page 380 of this book. Page 380. It's called The Home Tutor.
Right.
I want the bottom part. I have it underlined. No, in fact, Bishop brought this out on Shout Out Tuesday. Start from Dr. Pritchard.
All right, where we at? Dr. Pritchard enumerates a great number of instances of individuals with yellow hair and fair skin, amongst tribes with dark hair and skin.
Amongst tribes with dark hair and skin, go ahead.
And in the temperate regions of Asia, whole tribes evidently descended from dark-colored races. presented the light color.
So you had some who were originally dark, but then they got lighter. Because, go ahead, read on.
The Jews, as we shall have occasion to see, were originally.
Were what?
Originally.
What?
Originally.
Originally.
Undoubtedly.
Undoubtedly.
A dark-skinned and woolly-haired race.
Oh, boy.
Debunk that. Early
I don't need
1800s.
anything else. I don't need anything else from that. Get me the other book. Yeah, I'm going to drop the mic on that one. Barrington's Physical Geography by M.H. Newman. This book was written in 1850. White eyes only. 1850, a treatise of physical geography, page 297.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Know what I want.
Yes, sir. Says, thus, the Jews are a people who have ever, according to the prophecy, dwelt alone, without intermixing with the nations.
There were instances where Israel stayed homogeneous, the term is called, or is it endogamous? No, I think it's homogeneous. Homogeneous, where we stay to ourselves. Go ahead.
Intermixing with the nations to this day. Now, this separate race.
Give me Leviticus real quick. Leviticus, what is it? Stay separate. Is it 20 verse 25? Leviticus 20, verse 24 and 26, I think it is. It's separate. Why do they stay separate?
Verse 26.
Yeah, it's 24 also, right? It says separate, one says severed.
Severed, 26.
24 then.
Read verse 24 too?
Yes.
Okay.
26.
Yes, sir. Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 24. But I have said unto you, ye shall inherit their land, and I will give it unto you to possess it, a land that floweth with milk and honey.
Come on.
I am the Lord your God, which have separated you from other people.
26.
Verse 26. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy.
Mm-hmm.
And I have severed you from other people.
Separated you from other people. Go ahead.
That ye should be mine.
Separate. Go back to that again.
Now, this separate race.
The separate race, because God made us separate. Our laws separate from everybody else. Go ahead.
All descended from brown ancestors.
All descend from who?
Brown ancestors.
Which ones?
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob must have been as dark as Mar Yohanan, if not darker.
They were black. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were black. Go ahead.
Exhibit every shade of color from the black Jews of Malabar, of whom we have such an interesting account by Dr. Claudius Buchanan, to the rose and lily complexion of the Jewesses on the banks of the Elbe.
Go ahead.
We need go no further than the Jews of southern Spain.
The Jews of what?
Southern Spain.
Remember we read earlier about those who stayed, who chose to convert to Christianity to live their lives comfortably in Spain in terrible conditions, either falsely or sincerely. Some of us stayed there. Read again. We need what?
We need go no further than the Jews of southern Spain.
Now remember, what we read earlier took place around 1492. This book was published in 1850, but of course it took a while to compile it. So we're talking about 1830s or so. So that's not too far after that. So we were still, so whoever wrote this, they traveled and saw us there. Read, it's going to say it.
And compare them with those of Holland and northern Germany to perceive a very striking difference.
Yeah, because the ones is converts or nominals and one is not. Go ahead.
The Spanish Jew is always dark complexion.
The Spanish Jew is always dark in complexion. Go ahead.
And his hair is uniformly black. Whilst the German Jew is often as fair as any German and has lighter red hair.
Because they're white people. That's why. Those are converts.
With blue eyes.
With blue eyes. Go ahead.
The various shades of color observable among the Negro, our African race, tends to the same conclusion. Along the coast of Guinea, which is low, marshy, and hot, we find jet black complexions. And this is the very country from which American Negroes have been derived.
Wow. Guinea. Coast of Guinea. And guess what? That's where Portugal established colonies there, and shipped us there as slaves in Guinea.
So in this book, he letting us know, he comparing the Jews and Negroes together, letting you know we the same people with the same complexion.
Right, same thing. Now, get me.
We got a call, Deacon.
You got a call? Okay, let's go. Hello. Shalom, caller. Shalom.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. Shalom, welcome to the show. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Shalom, Most High encourage the best. I'm calling from San Antonio, Texas.
Hey, shalom, bro. What's your name?
My name's Elijah.
Hey, Elijah. Shalom, Most High encourage the best. Welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I only had 2 questions.
Sure.
One was in reference to the navigators that had come over with Columbus who were able to speak Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
Were they converts?
Some.
Like the Jewish people in the land, or were they us?
Somewhere. Luis de Torres was us, but it doesn't really tell you. But they were converts of them that were on the ship. You had Ladinos, which was our people, which were like Spanish-speaking Jews that were made slaves or servants and so forth. You had black conquistadors that were pretty much coons that were used to fight against our brothers on this side of the world. And then you had converts as well. But it's not really a book that gives differentiation of the two. But you read about Moranos. So the Moranos in the ship, that was us. You read about them. And you do have converts. But you can't. It's kind of hard to differentiate, because I know I have one book called the Black Atlas, where it mentions that Columbus had black people on his ship. So you kind of sift and kind of find out. Yeah, discern, right? So, but they were converts.
Okay,
ship,
and
definitely.
then my second question was on something you mentioned earlier about the term "ready." So,
Yes.
I know you had mentioned that it might mean something else, meaning brown. But then, so basically, my question is, in Genesis 25:25, it refers to Esau as red.
Yeah.
In the underlying Hebrew, it says Admoni.
Right.
But then also in 1 Samuel, it calls David the same thing.
Correct.
In 1 Samuel 16 and I believe 17 are the chapters.
Right, and they also.
So why does it refer to them both?
They also
by
allude
that?
to Admon. I'm sorry. They also allude to that Admoni as Adam too. That's that Yiddish. That's that false Hebrew. They made all those words the same meaning. Ruddy, red, and Adam. They all mean the same in the so-called Hebrew today, which is false. Adam means of the ground.
Okay.
So they deliberately made it where, like the bishop said in last night's class, the conspiracy goes back in terms of the language, because the language ties them back to saying David was red like us, Adam was red like us. That's what they did. But when you research the word ruddy in its original form, it meant a high level of health in your complexion. In the instance of our people, it meant a healthy, dark complexion. Matter of fact, I'll give you an example. Real quick, give me Bible Hub and type in ruddy. I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna show you the different translations to give you an example how they know. Watch this. Bible Hub, real quick. 1 Samuel 16:12. Watch this. This to let you know that they know what the word ruddy actually meant originally. When that Yiddish garbage changed it. Go down, 16:12, 1 Samuel 16:12. I want that there we go. Now, go down to the different versions. Can you make it one side? Just make it one side. Move that out the way to the right, the context out Now, here we go. New NIV says, let's see, was glowing with health and had a fine appearance. So where's ruddy in there?
Right.
That's glowing with health. That's what ruddy means. Go to the next one. NLT was dark and handsome. Where's ruddy in that? What's ruddy in there?
Damn.
It's dark.
Yeah, that's a bomb.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Let's go that dark and handsome. Next one. Ruddy with beautiful eyes and handsome. Okay, go down. Beautiful eyes. Brought him in handsome. Go ahead, go down. Ruddy and what a beautiful countenance. Go down. Ruddy, bright eyes. Go down. Reddish, they're playing games. Beautiful, reddish. Go down. Ruddy, beautiful eyes. Go down. Ruddy again. Ruddy complexion. Okay, go down. And a healthy, handsome appearance. So they'll go down to the next one. A healthy, handsome appearance. Healthy. it goes back to your health. Get Lamentations 4. Lamentations 4 verse 7. Go down some more. Read them all. He gets that.
So-
Go down. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
So
Go ahead.
basically, it seems like it's denoting like vigor.
Yes.
Or like youth.
Yes.
Youthful
It means
appearance.
a healthy, fresh complexion, healthy, and high health. You got something?
Deacon, after you done, can I
With the Coverdale joint?
Yeah.
Get that. Yeah, get the old dictionary, the old Bible translation. Read what it says there. Read that.
Right. So these are old Bibles in the 1300s, 1500s. That
Right.
all right. So
Because during King James' time, ruddy meant brown, healthy brown. So they put ruddy there because in their time it was common knowledge that ruddy meant brown and healthy. That's what it meant. Yeah, read that.
So let me go down to the Cloverdale. Let me do the 1531 Tyndale Bible. It says, "And he sent and brought him in. Now he was ruddy, withal of a beautiful countenance and goodly to look to. And the Lord said, Arise, anoint him, for this is he." Now 1535 Cloverdale Bible. "Then sent he and caused him he brought, and he was well colored, with fair eyes and of a beautiful countenance."
Well colored, because colored at the time meant colored as we know it. Brown is the same thing. Colored.
And the last two say brown.
The last two say go to the next. Go to the last. Go to the other two. Go to the other two.
Right. 1537 Matthew Bible. I actually have this one. "And he sent and brought him in, and he was a brown with goodly eyes and well favored in sight."
Go down to the next one.
Yeah, they're done.
Yeah,
they're done.
And he was what?
It said 1539 Great Bible. "And he sent and brought him in, and he was brown and of an excellent beauty."
So it's ruddy meant brown, healthy brown complexion. That's what it meant originally. Dub and rud meant the same thing. Dub, rud, swarthy, olive, or tawny, copper colored, it all meant the same thing. And so that Hebrew that Ben Yehuda came with made ruddy mean red, and Adam and ruddy all together. That's what it meant before. And they know that back in old time. This is brown there. Ruddy and brown were synonymous.
David was black.
David was black, yes. All right.
Hey, Deacon, you see the one that
Yes,
said
sir.
reddish.
That was the only questions I had.
All praises. Well, you asked a good question, man. So your question brought about answers people may have questions we may have had as well. So all praises for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All praises. All right.
Hey, Deacon, if you see the one that said reddish, on top it was the
Shalom.
New American Version.
Right.
Every other
Shalom,
every other one didn't say that.
Yeah, it says the New American Version. Right. So again, going back to the point again, ruddy meant. What was before? We wrote this before.
Yes, sir.
Way
Back in the we're going.
But so those who try to contest, oh, David was ruddy. Yeah, he was. He was brown. Yeah, that's what it means. What you got there? Anything else you got there? Are we gonna move
That's
on?
it. That's it. D. You move on.
Give me Lamentations 4 and 7.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 7.
Yeah.
Her Nazarites were purer than snow.
This is before the siege of Babylon, and there's the after is verse 8.
They were whiter than milk.
Help me, they were pure. Go ahead.
They were more ruddy in body than rubies.
They were more what?
More ruddy in body than rubies.
Healthy in body than rubies. Precious. Your bodies are healthy. Precious. Go ahead.
Their polishing was of sapphire.
Healthy, glorious. Next verse.
Their visage is blacker than a coal.
Their faces are blacker than a coal. They were black and healthy prior to the invasion of Babylon, which led to what? Read on.
They were not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered. It is become like a stick.
Famine. That is the aftermath of verse 7. Black faces, dark as hell, and down to the bone. Skinny. Text. What we got?
Text. It says, Shalom, brothers, Jabaz, New Jersey. I Googled ruddy animals, images, and all were brown like mahogany.
Yes. If you type in ruddy people in Google, it shows brown animals and brown people. It's like one white guy, one.
Hey, D.
If that.
The number for black girl on the Lamentation says darker than blackness.
What is it? What happened?
On number 8, it said their visage is blacker than coal. The number says darker than blackness.
Damn.
Wait, where's that at?
Yeah, number 8. If you have Cambridge Bible,
Yeah.
the word blacker,
Yep.
it says darker than blackness.
Come on, man.
Their face is darker than blackness. It was black, jet black. Because I believe that during a famine, it's called it's a term. When for your skin, it gets extra dark when it's famine. It's called it's a word. Huh? Hyperpigmentation. Hyperpigmentation. When you go through a famine, black folks get darker based upon hyperpigmentation during famine. Or if you're light, you get lighter. Like a plant, if it's deprived of water, it's light, it gets lighter. If you're dark, you get darker due to deprivation. So they got darker because of deprivation. No white guy turned to a nigger because he's hungry. You stupid ass apologetics. Yeah, the white guy was so hungry, he looked like Wesley Snipes. Shut up. Where we at?
Damn, that's heavy right there. Darker than black.
Darker than blackness. Where we at?
Uh,
I'm so excited. I'm losing track of time. All right, so you read Black Woody had race. Oh, get me Censoring Racial Ridicule. Page 33, which coincides with the home tutor. All right? This is called Censoring Racial Ridicule, Irish, Jewish, and African American Struggles Over Race and Representation, 1890 to 1930 by M. Allison Kibler. Page 33. Most 19th century. Start from there. Most 19th century. No. Go ahead. Right there. It's on the far right.
Most 19th century observers saw Jewish success and acculturation as a sign of white superiority. But by the early 20th century, as Eastern European immigration peaked, Jews emerged as a peculiar race. Around the turn of the century, scholars regarded the Jewish race in contradictory ways.
The Jewish what?
Around the turn of the century, scholars regarded the Jewish race.
Jewish what?
The Jewish race.
Jewish what?
Jewish race.
They were a race. Go ahead.
In contradictory ways, praising the race's ambition and capitalist success, but also deriding its greed. They defined Jews as quintessentially modern, but also as old-fashioned in their religious devotion.
Watch this.
Commentators claim that the Jews resembled African Americans.
Damn.
Oh, hold on. Because of their swarthy skin tone and inappropriate sexual drive.
Jews are very, very fruitful. When you have women like ours, you have to have a high sex drive. That woman look better than yours.
That's right.
That's why you have a high
Bring
sex
it
drive.
out.
You see a big old behind walk in the house somewhere, you're going to put babies up in it. That's what it is. Beautiful brown skin and a waist and pretty face. It is what it is. You're going to make a bunch of babies.
We don't have long back women.
Yeah, we ain't got long backs. BB, all that other stuff.
No broomsticks.
Yellow pancakes. We ain't got all that going on. So, you have, it says, they resembled African Americans because of their swarthy skin tone and inappropriate sex drive. Now, went over that one. Let's see. Went over that one. Get me the Jews. A study of race and environment by Maurice Fishberg. Maurice Fishberg. The Jews, a study of race and environment.
That's the cover of the book right there.
This is
That's 1911.
Yeah, it's pretty good. 1911. The year, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's good. Let's go.
The Jews. Where you want me to start at, Deacon?
The top. It is stated that the philosophies.
All right. Highlight that for me. The latest description of these Jews is from the pen of H. Nahum, another representative of the Alliance Israelite.
Wait. Page 149?
That's 148.
149. I mean, that's good too, but I want 149. Just get to the point.
All right. Here we go. It is stated that the Falashas are not the only Jews of Negro race.
The Falashas are the ones who were airlifted into Israel in 1984 based upon the year of return, with permission to return in 1984. They were airlifted based upon persecution in Ethiopia and were placed in Israel, and they're treated like shit over there For the last 30 years, you have black folks over there crying for rights, crying for justice because they're being killed and mistreated by the government, Israeli government, and police force. You have basically a Black Lives Matter campaign, not by the same name, but the same movement going on over there. Except theirs is actually sincere, not some lesbian garbage. But over there in Israel, they're being persecuted over there. They were brought over there, and the Israeli government is giving them problems. Read on. And they consider them to be Jews. Read on.
It is stated that the Falashas are not the only Jews of Negro race.
Of Negro race. Was they the same as us? Go ahead.
Bastion speaks of Negro Jews living on the Loango coast in Western.
What?
The Loango coast in Western Africa.
Living on the Loango. Give me the map of Africa, please. The Africa map. Living on the coast of the Loango coast in Western Africa. Go ahead. No, I want that. Read that page first.
Let us read the page. Go back to the page.
Let me get that first. That's fine. I got it. Go back to that page real quick. I'm sorry about that. Can't do two things at one time. Go ahead. Go back up to the top. Right there. We don't think. Read it again. The Jews of Bastion speaks.
Right. Bastion speaks of Negro Jews living on the Loango coast in Western Africa.
He speaks of Negro Jews living on the coast of Loango. On the coast of West Africa. Go ahead. They are called what?
They're Movambo or Judeos.
They are called Movambo or Judeos.
Judeos,
Go to the map. Blow it up. Go to the bottom left. Right there, the bottom. To the bottom.
Blow it up.
Move it over to the right. Zoom in there. Move it over to the right. Right there. There you go. Movambo Jews. Where's that at? It says what's right at the bottom there? Lawanda?
Yeah, yes, sir. Lawanda
Jews. Movambo Jews. Move it over. Where's this at? Move it over a little bit. See where it is. Bring it out some. Gaboom. Right there. West Africa. Right, so where it is. Movambo Jews. Read the book again.
What's the name? What's his? Was he Issachar? Jasper Younger.
Jasper Younger.
He was from Gabon.
Yes, Jasper Younger. Go ahead. They are called the what?
They are called their Movambo or Judeos. They are, on the whole, a fair-looking race.
In this instance, it means they're good-looking. Go ahead.
Says Bastion. They are more serious and restrained than the rest of the Negroes, although in other places they are despised.
Here, they are what?
Despised.
Everywhere we're hated. Everywhere. Go ahead.
Here, they take a dominating position, or at least such as to be respected and partly even feared, because they are rich and have most of the commerce in their hands. The same author claims that though they are Negro race, still he detected Semitic facial features in their physiognomy.
They had Semitic features in their facial structure. So we have Semitic physiognomy. Go ahead.
Even in Madagascar, a traveler has discovered Jews.
They're black there too. Go ahead.
Sebree mentions that in Ambofino, on the east coast of that island, he met natives who called themselves Zafi, Ibrahim, or descendants of Abraham, who claimed to be altogether Jews.
Go ahead.
But I could not detect any difference in color, features, or dialect between them and the other people of the eastern coast. Comments the author.
They all look the same. They look the same over here, look the same over there. They're all dark. Go ahead.
The most curious class of Negro Jews is said to have existed in Jamaica.
Where?
In Jamaica.
Where?
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
And Suriname.
And Suriname. The Jews are there too. Go ahead.
In Jamaica, there was a very large degree of intermarriage of the Spanish and Portuguese Jews with Negroes.
The Spanish and what?
The Spanish and Portuguese Jews with Negroes.
Right. Go ahead.
And today, there is said to be a very large colored population.
Very large what?
Colored population, bearing Jewish names, but nearly all of whom have, however, lapsed from Judaism.
Because of slavery. That's why. And assimilation. Go ahead.
About 150 years ago, a new half-breed colony was constituted in the neighborhood of Suriname, which was the result of intermarriage between Jews and Negroes.
Jews means it's the same people. Go ahead.
They developed their own peculiar language, Dejo Tongo, or Jew language. Dr. Lotz describes this dialect in detail.
Go ahead.
The first settlers were partly English and partly Jews who came from Brazil and Cayenne, and who spoke Portuguese. both spoke to their slaves in their own language. There's another page. Which were not well understood by the latter. In this manner, two new languages, Negro English and Negro Portuguese, were developed, which in time coalesced, and new terms and expressions common to both were developed.
That's all I want. That's all I really wanted. So it mentions the Jews being black there as well. What else? This is so many places I can go. I don't know where to begin or where to stop at.
D, we don't have the book, The Critical.
You do, right? Critical Review?
Critical Review.
Right here.
To back up the Luango Coast.
Yeah. Page 140 regarding Luango, meaning the Portuguese.
Right.
Get page 140 regarding Luango. This is called the Critical Review or Annals of Literature, volume 57. This was published in 1783. White eyes only.
Hey, we gotta get that sound bite, man.
Yeah, page 140. White eyes only. Page 140 and 141.
All right.
Regarding the Portuguese Jews.
Says the first rivals.
The reason why it says Negroes or Portuguese Jews because the Portuguese Jews are basically Jews that spoke Portuguese and observed the Judaism, and Negroes pretty much were not. Did not do so. Go ahead.
The first rivals of the Arabs for the slaving trade were the Portuguese since 1445.
The Portuguese were rivaling the Arabs in the slave trade because the Arabs had the trans-Saharan slave trade going on, and then the Portuguese and them were in competition of selling slaves, eventually coming together and establishing, along with the Muslim Hamites, got together and sold us creating the transatlantic slave trade. Go ahead.
Whose preceding voyages were made merely in continuation of the war against the Arabs, whom King Alfonso III had expelled from his dominions. The kidnapping pursuits of the Portuguese were favored by the papal donation of the new discovered countries, till Prince Henry, who meant to improve the discovery in Africa to other purposes than merely for the extirpation of Mohammedanism, forbade the kidnapping to his navigators.
Here we go.
Pope Nicholas V.
Pope Nicholas V. He's the guy that passed the Edict of Dum Diversis and Romanus Pontifex, which is edicts that were passed to establish and solidify the enslavement of our people and bringing them to this side of the world. And that same Inquisition was then brought to this side of the world, including the Native Americans as well, being enslaved and Christianized or catamized, whatever. Go ahead.
Pope Nicholas V in that famous bull by which he granted the unknown world to the Portuguese and Spaniards, expressly permitted and ordered the Christians to reduce all infidels into slavery.
Moors and Jews. Go ahead.
An order zealously executed by both these nations. In the meanwhile, the Portuguese were advancing nearer and nearer to the countries abounding in gold and discovered in the progress of their navigation many useful and valuable articles of trade. That of pepper, now found by them.
Jump down to verse page 141.
Yeah, I think so.
So the Christian church is responsible for the slave trade. Go to page 141. King John II. He's referred to as King John or King Jao, J-A-O, same person. Go ahead.
King John II in 1492 expelled all Jews to the island of St. Thomas.
He expelled all Jews to the island of what?
St. Thomas.
Go ahead.
Which had been discovered in 1471. And to other Portuguese settlements on the continent of Africa. And from these banished Jews, the black Portuguese as they are called, and the Jews in Luango.
Where?
In Luango.
That's in the last book. In Luango, go ahead.
Who are despised, even by the very Negroes, are descended.
So, again, the Jews of Luango, from which the Negroes derived from, were all the same exact people.
Oh, hold on.
Is there more? Read on.
By these colonists, St. Thomas soon became a considerable place of trade and valuable for its sugar plantations.
Wow, go ahead.
30 years after their settlement, not less than 156,000 robes of 30 pounds weight each of sugar were exported. And the engines of 60 sugar works.
No, arrobas.
Arrobas.
Or 30 pounds of weight each of sugar. Go ahead.
Of sugar were exported, and the engines of 60 sugar works turned by slaves. These Negroes were purchased in Guinea.
That's it. They're purchased where?
These Negroes were purchased in Guinea.
Remember the other book mentioned Guinea also. These Negroes were purchased in Guinea. Go ahead.
Congo, and Mana-Congo.
Go ahead.
And the colonists had plantations furnished with from 150 to 3,000 Negro slaves.
These are all Jews. You say something, Jess?
Right. Now, we came in first, but there's another book that says when the so-called Jews came in and they took over those plantations and they made us slaves over there.
Yeah, we'll get to that as well, Lord's will, next week, regarding how the Khazars is in Spain. In your books, by the way, we got stuff for you. We got stuff for y'all. We got stuff for y'all regarding the Khazars that pretty much got into Spain and were taught in the schools of the Jews in Spain, and were pretty much involved and became Sephardics. We got the books, and they're written by they're published in the Library of Hebrew Union College. That's your schools, right? They're published by the Library of Hebrew Union College, Jewish Institute of Religion. That's your books. That's your colleges. Yeah, so we're gonna definitely go into that, Lord's will, another time. I want to do it now so bad, but I don't want to go past my time because I know Deacon Malachi, I want to go in. I want to just bring it out real fast, though.
There's no Raven and Wolves today.
There's no Raven and Wolves today.
The show.
He canceled the show? Real fast. Real quick. Real fast.
You also got a text.
We also got a text.
Right.
Give me read the text real quick.
Okay.
Let me just extend it.
Yes.
Deacon Malachi, forgive me, man. Give me 10 minutes. Give me 10 minutes. You know, your show ain't going on. Just forgive me. Go ahead.
So Lamentations 4 and 7, where it says rubies are extra ruddy, means rubies are charcoal colored. Really? I don't think they read it right.
Oh no. Read it again.
So Lamentations.
He's a scoffer.
He's a scoffer. No, I'm a scoffer. Read it.
Lamentations 4:7, where it says rubies are extra ruddy, means rubies are charcoal colored. Really?
No, sir. That's not what it means. It's rubies as in precious stones. Yeah. It's going into. I said earlier. I said sapphire earlier. It's going into how their bodies are precious and healthy and strong. And they went from that to blacker than coal because remember again, under a famine, there's hyperpigmentation. And again, scoffer, Joseph, Moses, and Paul passed for Nubian people.
Right.
So there's no way you're getting white out of that. I don't know who this dumbass is on here.
Bring it up.
But I'm just trying to spit at you. If you want, you can call. I can embarrass you further on the phone call. But again, when it says sapphires, going to how precious their bodies were, how they were in high health, and then that high health declined into being withered. It's like, read verse 8 again, please.
Yes, sir.
For the scoffers and scorners that are not paying attention. Where were you in the beginning of the show? Where were you at? You just came in? You seem confused. I'll help you.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I think the books helped you enough, but, maybe, some are slower than others. Read verse 8.
Verse 70.
Verse 7 and 8.
Yes, sir.
Read both, please.
Yes, sir. Her Nazarites were purer than snow.
Her Nazarites were pure, not whiter. It says purer than snow, meaning white as in holy. Go ahead.
They were whiter than milk.
Whiter than milk as in, go ahead. Go ahead.
They were more ruddy in body.
They were ruddy in body. Go ahead.
Than rubies.
Ruddy in body. Ruddy in body means healthy in body than rubies, as in precious stones. Their bodies were in good condition. Next verse. Going to elaborate. Read.
Their polishing was of sapphire.
Their polishing, their condition was that sapphire was precious. Another precious jewel like a ruby. Go ahead. It's not their color. It's going into their condition. Need next one.
Their visage.
Visage is your face. That's a face there. Their faces, go ahead,
is blacker than a coal.
They're very dark. Go ahead, why? Read on.
They are not known in the street.
You can't recognize them from what was written before. In verse 7, read on.
Their skin cleaveth to their bones.
Their skin stuck to their bones, no meat on them. Go ahead.
It is withered. It has become like a stick.
Go ahead.
That was it.
That's it. Going into what? The famine. Because Lamentations is Jeremiah's writing regarding what he saw when Babylon besieged Jerusalem and starved us out. And we were starved before they besieged us. So many of us lost weight and got slim and got weak. So he's going from verse 7 is the beginning, 8 is the aftermath. Please learn to pay close attention when you're listening to the program. Thank you. Anyone else?
Got them up.
See, I said it real slow so you won't be lost. Where we at now? Oh, that's what I wanted. Before I was rudely interrupted with stupidness. Get the page. Studies in the Jews of Khazaria, right? Jews of Khazaria. Get that one. Jews of Khazaria.
That's stupid.
Yep. Jews of Khazaria. Blow it up.
Okay.
Kevin Allen Brook. Get the page I want out of that to show who was involved in the slave trade. Once the original Jews and Moors were expelled, the ones who were converted were allowed to stay, allowed to remain and profit, because they're all the same. Read that.
It is unclear whether the traders from Khazaria were ethnic Khazars or merely residents of Crimea, since Khazaria was retained as a term for the Crimean Peninsula long after the end of Khazar rule. See Chapter 8. The latter is probably intended.
Mm-hmm.
Khazars in Spain.
Whoa.
Wow.
Khazars in Spain. Interesting. Read.
It is said that many royal Khazars immigrated to Spain in the 11th century. See Chapter 8. It is also possible that Khazar merchants...
Oh, wait. Remember, the conversion started in the 8th, 9th century. In the 8th, 9th century. Read on.
It is also possible that Khazar merchants arrived in Spanish...
Remember, the expulsion started in the 1400s. So the Israelites are still living in these lands at the time, and they had schools of learning in this time. Remember, the Khazars converted during the 8th and 9th century. Some say 800, some say 960, some say 960 AD. So when the Jews that fled from Christian or Islamic rule fled into Khazaria, they taught the Khazars, and some of the Khazars who were taught by the Jews living there came to Spain to the schools of learning. Give me Acts 13 again. Read this again.
It is said that many royal Khazars emigrated to Spain in the 11th century. See Chapter 8. It is also possible that Khazar merchants arrived in Spanish port cities, since the Moorish rulers were tolerant of Jews.
Since the Moorish rulers are tolerant of Jews. Go ahead.
And Sefer HaKabbalah composing...
Because by this time, I believe the Almohads are ruling, right? 1100s?
Yes.
We were ruling Spain at this time.
Right. We were the Moors over there.
Right. So at this time, we were ruling at the time. So when the Khazars came by, converted as Jews, they said, okay, you can come on in. They tolerated it. So these Khazars were in Spain as early as the time when the Moors were still ruling over Spain prior to their conquest. And I'm pretty sure some of them probably stayed. Read.
In Sefer HaKabbalah, composed in 1161, Abraham ibn Duad stated that descendants of the Khazars were studying in Toledo.
Descendants of the Khazars were studying in Spain. Go ahead.
Part of Andalusia during his lifetime. Ibn Duad added that these Khazars were rabbinical Jewish students.
The rabbinical what?
Jewish students.
Were rabbinical Jewish students.
Damn, that's like Herod
all over again. Go ahead.
Perhaps these scholars came to Spain from
Kiev Rus, Ukraine. Kiev Rus is Russia. Go ahead.
Dunlop wondered whether the Khazars in Spain may have contributed information about their people to the Spanish Jews through oral testimonies.
Go ahead.
And he also entertained the notion that book of the Khazars, containing historical details about the Khazars, might actually have been brought to Toledo.
Their whereabouts, who they were, came to Spain. Go ahead.
Such oral and written statements supplementing information that could be gleaned from the exchange of letters between Hassadai ibn Shaprut and King Joseph.
Wait.
That's from...
I'm going to get it. We're going to get the Jewish Encyclopedia. So the evidence or origin of where the Khazars derived from can be found in the conversation between Hasdai ibn Shaprut and King Joseph. So get that real quick, Jewish Encyclopedia, real quick, volume 4. And we're going to read what Hasdai ibn Shaprut said regarding the origins of Khazars and where they come from King Joseph.
That's the Sephardic Jews.
Yes, the Sephardics.
They all moved in, and they became the Sephardic Jews. That's
who that is. That's Sephardics. Now
we know where they came from.
Now we know where they came from.
All praises.
All praises. So now, real quick, was it that? Hold on.
We looking for the exact section?
No, I'm gonna send them something real quick. I'm gonna take a quick shot real quick right here. What I sent this to, man? I sent to Manny. Manny, I'm gonna send it to you something. Send you something real quick, all right?
Oh, Deacon.
Telegram.
Oh, that's an Android. You don't got AirDrop.
It's all right. It's the Spirit of the Lord. Where we at? Jewish Encyclopedia. No.
Yeah, we.
I don't want that. I don't want that. Not yet. Go to Jewish Encyclopedia. Okay, blow it up real quick. You have Khazars, right? Now this is the Khazars here. This is the Jewish Encyclopedia. Go over to the next page. Wait. It's the same page. Go over to the right. Go to the right.
Yeah,
go to the
right.
right.
The right column.
Go down. Down. Where's where I wrote it in pencil? Go down. Is that it? Next page. This is the Khazar section right here. This is it. Blow it up. Let me see. Go down. Embrace Judaism. There's King Joseph there. Go over. Go up. Go to the next page. There we go. Right there. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
That's it. Read that. That's it. Read it.
Hasdai ibn Shepherd.
Remember that guy? The evidence of where the Khazars' origin came from, regarding from them traveling from Khazaria to Spain to learn the schools. Read this here. You can find out the origin of the Khazars based upon the correspondence between Hasdai and King Joseph. Watch this.
Hasdai ibn Shepherd, who was foreign minister to Abdul Rahman, Sultan of Cordova, in his letter to King Joseph of the Khazars about 960.
Yes. About what year?
960.
That's 200 years before they arrived in Spain to go to the schools. Go ahead. 100 plus years. Go ahead.
Relates that the first information about that kingdom was communicated to him by envoys from Khorasan, and that their statements were corroborated by ambassadors from the Byzantium.
So Hasdai ibn Shepherd was doing intel on the Khazars, and he was getting information from other people as to their whereabouts, where they come from, who they come from. So he got information from the Christians and other business parties that they deal with. Go over.
I'm sorry, Byzantium.
By Byzantium, Christian, same thing. Go right here. Taking a what?
Taking a keen interest in everything relating to the kingdom of the Khazars.
Hasdai, go ahead.
Hasdai begs the king to communicate to him a detailed account of the geography of his country.
Come on.
Of its international constitution, of the customs and occupations of its inhabitants.
Go ahead.
And especially of the history of his ancestry and of the state. In this letter, Hasdai speaks of the tradition according to which the Khazars once dwelt near the Seir mountain.
Edom. That's the Khazars are Edomites. Now, go to the next book. Go back to the book now. Go back. That's where they come. Traditionally, they were known to have come from the Khazar, from Edom, from the Mount Seir. So now read it again. Where you at? Hasdai.
I'll read the whole thing. Dunlop wondered whether the Khazars in Spain may have contributed information about their people to the Spanish Jews through oral testimonies. And he also entertained the notion that books of the Khazars containing historical details about the Khazars might actually have been brought to Toledo. Such oral and written statements supplemented information that could be gleaned from the exchange of letters between Hasdai ibn Shepherd and King Joseph.
Regarding them being from Seir Mountains. Go ahead.
Then theoretically could have helped Yehuda Levi compose the brief account of the Khazars that appears in 2 sections of his famous book, Sefer HaKhazari.
So he wrote about them. Go ahead.
Which contains a few details not found in the Hasdai Joseph correspondence or in other known extant texts.
We got to find that. We got to find that too. Let's see if he wrote the same thing.
Whether books of the Khazars existed or not will probably remain a tantalizing mystery.
So you want. So now, give me that what I sent you, Manny. I want you to Google the same book, and I'll Google the price of it now. This book right here. Well, Google the book first. See how much it costs to buy it. Zoom in that book first, real quick, before you wrap it up. We're gonna start here next week. In 2 weeks, we're gonna go to this book in 2 weeks. Blow it up. This book is called, it's called New World Jewry, 1493 to 1825. Requiem for the Forgotten by Seymour E.B. Liebman. This goes into how you guys, the Israelis, were major slave traders. Major slave traders. But we used to wonder, well, how do you know which Jews it was that was doing it? And now we know. You Khazars got up in there. That was you. That was you doing that. This book right here, this book like $20, something like that. Now, go to it now. Google it now. How much is it worth?
Damn.
Blow it up. Let's see how much it costs. How much this book costs? Blow it up. Amazon.
Come on.
And that's everywhere. I looked. It's everywhere. Same price. Blow it up. Come on. It don't matter where you go. It's going to be the same price.
Blow it up.
Blow it up. Blow it up. Blow it up. Blow it up. See it right there. That's Amazon. How much it costs?
$2,950.
Why? Why is it $2,900? Because in that book, it talks about the involvement of the Israelis or Unaminos being heavily involved in the slave trade. Now, we commend you for, raising the price to $3,000, but unfortunately, we have it. So that was a waste of time for you. I know you thought you can hide it. We got it. So we're going to bring it out, unless it is what it is. So Lord's will, look for Lord's will, in a couple of weeks, Lord's will, we'll see y'all. We're going to start off with this book here, huh? You got something else?
Text.
What?
Text.
A text? All right, one more text. We're going to wrap it up. What's that?
All right. It says, Shalom leadership. I just wanted y'all to know how much you're appreciated. I'm so proud and happy to have the leadership of my brothers. Keep bringing out the truth. All praise the Most High. The prophets are back on the earth. Most High Christ bless.
That's all praises, all praises. Anything else that was under that?
That was it.
Okay. Well, praise the Lord. So, that book, you made it $3,000 for whatever reason. It was worth $20. But now we know why. Because that book goes heavily into the involvement of the Israelis or you Zionists or nominals in the slave trade. So, we're going to go into that, Lord's will, in a couple of weeks. All praise to the Lord for that. Or maybe next week, we'll see what happens. We're going to go into that. So, all praise to the Lord for the information that came out today. Thank you for the books. Thank you for letting us read.
Right.
That was your mistake. Go ahead, Abaddon.
Hey,
so shout out to the IT team and shout out to the breakfast team. All praise to the Lord. Abaddon.
All praise the Most High. Hey, Israel, let's give Deacon another hand for that class. All praises.
Oh, man, I forgot Acts 13 and 1.
Oh, yeah, let's read. I got it.
Yeah, Acts 13, read that real fast. Regarding them going to our schools of learning.
Yes, sir.
Read that real fast.
The book of Acts, chapter 13 and verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon that was called Nigger, and Lucius of Cyrene, and Manaen, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch and Saul.
Right, so Herod the Tetrarch and Saul and Manaen, they went to the same school. Get Acts 26, verse 1, and jump to verse 3.
The book of Acts, chapter 26 and verse 1. Then Agrippa said unto Paul, Thou art permitted to speak for thyself.
So he's talking to Agrippa. Go to verse 3 now. Get to the point.
Verse 3.
What did Paul say to Agrippa?
Especially because I know thee to be expert in all customs and questions which are among the Jews.
Why? Because he was taught in our schools. They were mentored and educated in our laws and customs when we conquered Edom. And then over time, when Edom conquered us, they maintained that teaching and became us in Spain and became us in Germany, okay, or Russia. That's how it happened. So the Khazars, so these guys, the Sephardics are Khazars and the Ashkenaz are Khazars too, or Edom too. Spaniards too. Conquistadors, them as well. It's the same people that came over here with Columbus. It's the same people. All right? So all praise to the Lord for that information. Go ahead, Abaddon. You can get it.
All praise. Let's give Deacon a hand again. All praise the Most High. Fire. Part 3. All right, Israel, remember to subscribe to Our Hidden History Radio, IUIC Philadelphia, and IUIC Philadelphia in the Classroom. Make sure you hit the notifications button so you know when we go live, all right? You can catch the Deacon, Captain, and the officers of IUIC. Donate to the Booster Club. You can donate to the Booster Club at IUIC.fundraising at IsraelUnite.org. And also continue your donations to OHH so we can get more books to bring out to the people, all right? You can donate to Philly to IUIC.Philadelphia at IsraelUnite.org. In the comment section, put OHH.
Right. Those of you, put the camera on me, those of you who've been donating, these are all thanks to your contributions. One here, all this here. This is mine. But all these books here, it's all y'all. So y'all keep doing what y'all do. We're going to keep bringing these books out for you. This is for you. It's for me. This is for y'all. So whatever we get, we bring out to you in the time appointed. All right? All praises.
All praise the Most High.
Lord, yep.
All right.
And we got that book also that they made $3,000 thanks to y'all as well. We didn't get not for $3,000, but we got it.
All praise.
All praise to that.
We got it, though.
Yeah, we got it, though. We got it. Go ahead.
All right. And last but not least, subscribe to IUIC TV to get exclusive content from the leadership of IUIC. Is that one more? I don't know if you got time for that one.
One more. Come on.
All right. Go ahead. Go to that text. It says, Shalom leadership, Brother Shiloh from Arkansas. When ruled Japheth, Europe, from my understanding, we came and ruled over Japheth until Edom took over and became the Greeks. And later Romans today, you can see some Edom with dark complexion that had mixed with Japheth, who mixed with Shem. So does that mean that among some of those people are our people?
We're everywhere, so I can't speak to that. We're everywhere. I can tell you that the most. It says, when what now? That's a lot.
Yeah, it was.
Ruled, Japheth ruled. The thing is that they ruled over Japheth until Edom took over and became the Greeks. Yeah. Right. Edom came after us, and we all mingled around. So Israel's everywhere. I can't speak definitively as to who is who, but I know Israel is mixed among everyone. So, yes, the answer to your question is yes. Israel's found there. Israel's all over the place. I went into this information regarding Jake and Japheth mingling around when I went into the Scythians, and I went into the Silures, right, with Arthur and them, and Caraticus. That's a mixture of those two. And then Edom came after, of course, when the kingdom of Israel split into two kingdoms. Edom gained power, and they migrated further northward. Ended up in Italy, ended up in Spain. They broke off and they ended up into Russia and pretty much in Kiev or whatever, Kiev Rus, whatever, and migrated over there. So hopefully that answers your question. Hope that answered your question. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
All right, all praises to the Lord. Lord's will, we'll see y'all next week or two. We got some things going on next week that may cause class to not take place next week. It might be a rerun, but Lord's will, you guys should watch this video again next week. If you didn't watch it, or watch it again during the course of the week and kind of get, write the things down. After a while, this war is getting crazy. Esau going to start shutting our pages down. So y'all better make sure you got a terabyte of hard drive or something and start saving these videos and, and what do you call it, organizing them, because after a while, this information is going to become forbidden. So be happy for the information you're getting now, because it may not be around that much longer. All right, so shalom, Most High in Christ bless. I enjoyed the class as much as hopefully y'all did. And I'll see y'all again. Shalom, Most High in Christ bless.
Shalom, Most High in Christ bless.
Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know